looked like you and Nick had a long chat at midfield after the game. What were you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's a passionate coach, and I'm someone that, I like to hear his thoughts, and we're both frustrated by the performance. I think that we know as a team, Nick and I and everyone know that that performance was well below our standard. And Kansas City will take advantage when they get opportunities, and they did just that. So, yeah, the conversation was, one of this is what we need to do, and we need to move on from this and get back out there next week and, ride this wave and learn from it.
What was it clicking offensively? Did the team need to do better?
I just think we turn the ball over far too easily. Where it's technical errors, it's little things, and it was everyone at some point in the game, me included. So I think we're gonna look back and see a lot of opportunity that we didn't necessarily take advantage of, but it is positive that we're still getting in those moments, regardless of the scoreline. I think we had some big chances in the first half and had lots of set pieces. So I think that there's still, of course, positives that we'll take away from this. But yeah, I mean, I think in terms of production and creation, it was one of our lower games in terms of numbers.
You mean something I'm being cliche? Was the team a little rusty after?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make the excuse that we had a break, because obviously they came here and won 3-0. So it shouldn't be an excuse that we make. We're definitely not making that excuse. We've done enough to be prepared to come into the game tonight. So yeah, this one definitely stings.
Sounds like some of generating the looks that you wanted was self-inflicted in your eyes, but what were some things that KC was doing defensively to make it develop?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're a good team. They are very good at what they're good at, and when you play a team with such a strong identity, you need to be able to counteract that. I thought we handled their in-behind threats well in the first half, and then maybe it was a case of us being too open because we were pushing players higher, whether it was, errors or turning the ball over. I'll have to watch it back to be sure, but I think they're just a team that waits until other teams turn the ball over, and then they make you pay for it, and they're very, very good at it, as we can see by all 3 goals. So, when a team is that confident in what they do and they can execute, and they have players like they do, they're always going to be threatening.
Janine, we've seen a lot of hydration breaks with the World Cup and everything. How do you feel like that tonight shifted the momentum?
I didn't really notice it, to be fair. I don't know if other people did. I think it's an interesting concept. I'm not quite sure which side I'm on, of if I'm a fan of it or not. I think it's an opportunity to. It definitely favors, maybe the team that the momentum's against a little bit more. But I thought we could have taken better advantage of those moments, maybe. Again, to be fair, when you mentioned that, I didn't even remember that we had water breaks. But yeah, it's just, moments in the game.
We'll do one more for Janine. What are some tactics that you guys are going to take back to calm the spirit, performance center, and kind of prepare yourselves for the next game?
I just think we need to stick to our identity. One loss doesn't define a season. There's plenty of soccer to be played. And for those of us that have been in this league and those that have experienced the beginning of the season, they know that this league is very much up and down, and we'll take, the lesson of we create a lot of our own problems. And I think that is equally as frustrating as it is an opportunity. So my encouragement will be, I know Nick's encouragement will be, if we can clean small technical errors up, playing the right foot, leading someone versus, if they're getting pressed, do you play their back foot? The small things that really make a difference in these kinds of games. I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about that. And then just, get back to work, because we know the next challenge is coming, and it's coming fast.
Thank you, Janine.
Thanks, everyone.
Obviously, none of us are aware of tonight. Talk to us about that.
I don't know if we've got enough time to talk about what went wrong, but I think we played right into their hands. We knew exactly how they were going to play and how they create their chances, or how they create their big chances. And we made far too many errors. We lacked composure in moments. We took too many touches in those areas where they're going to really set traps. And I think the frustrating part of that is that we spoke about that and that we planned for it. So we just got to dust ourselves off and continue. We did speak earlier in the break about, you know, we beat Louisville and we were on 15 points, but it's not going to be just, it's going to be up and down. And I think this is one of those moments that we've got to absorb and we've got to move forwards from.
I'm following very late. Nick, talk to me about the message at halftime, changes, what you're trying to do, what changes.
The biggest message to the team at halftime was that we're very, very lucky as a group that we have all of those fans that were still behind us. It's very unique that. To not be playing as well and to be under pressure and still have the energy and the real sort of commitment from our fans is a luxury. So we have to play better. We made 2 changes. We had some looks tonight, like some all right looks, and I get it, right? We were never going to win the game when there are 4.4 expected goals, but we had some looks tonight where we knew if we played past their first line of pressure that we'd be able to get at them and we'd be able to create moments. We didn't create enough, but we just gave away far too many simple chances, and when you do that, you can't win football games.
In shot breaking you wave, I just want to ask your approach, obviously the long break, your approach obviously going into this game, and then your approach after this one, and then going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I get it, right? It's natural to say that they had a break and we had a break, and I don't think it helps. I'm not a huge fan of a mid-season break. I mean, as a brand new team, it wasn't great for us. We were getting momentum, we were making progress. We weren't great against Bay, and we had chance to work and come out of that and win at Gotham, and we weren't great at Boston, and we had chance to work at that, and we started to get momentum. We started to put performances together, and when you're trying to stitch in principles and concepts for an identity and you're trying to build a culture and you're trying to learn from the sort of bumps but also learn from the good moments, it's not great to then spend 2 weeks not together, then come back and not... The worst thing for a soccer team is to not have a game at the end of the week. In every team I've been in, when you're just training without a game at the end of the week, there's no purpose there. And I get it, there's a mid-season break. I'm not a huge fan of it. So I said to the team, the one thing that is critical for everybody to understand is that performance is way below the level of this project. I know that, and I hope every player knows that, and we do. We came out of it from Boston, and we'll do exactly the same now.
Coach, Tosh was out tonight. What's the status of her injury?
It's just pain dependent because she fractured 2 ribs. She's doing sort of like non-contact technical work, so she's able to go on the balls. As soon as she does any kind of contact, she feels pain. So we're trying to accelerate her ability to be selected, but while she feels pain, it's impossible. And in a game like this that is so physical, impossible for Tash Flint to go in today.
Chris, Nick, it sounds like you have a pretty clear idea of what Chris Armas is going to do with his side coming in, and then really alter that game plan. What were you trying to set out with? You starting 11 tonight, Ali starting, Emma Regan in the lineup, Janine up top.
Yeah, Emma's trained well. Emma deserves an opportunity, but we lost Delaney to sickness yesterday, so she didn't train on Tuesday. She came in because she was sick. She came in on Wednesday, and then she was sick again Wednesday evening, didn't train Thursday. So Delaney was unable to be selected and then came in at halftime because she felt okay this morning. I think I've played this game a million times, New York Red Bull, played against Colorado Rapids, played against Toronto, and I think the idea is very much like, have you play sort of a real indecisive, sort of nervous possession game, and then when we turn it over, they just play forwards into Chewinga, to Cooper, to Bethune, and they're good attackers, right? And if you give them 1v1s against the goalkeeper, they're going to win 3-0. You can see that tonight. And I think if we show composure and we can play past the first press, to have Janine and Ali's speed to go against their back line and to have Yaz in the 10, you can see the moments when we did that. The first moment where we play into Yaz, she turns and you get a moment. Then we just didn't show enough composure. I think if they keep you on the same side of the field, they can go 1v1 and they can turn the ball over with just duels. So you have to keep almost like getting, we tried to bring Abby out to get Ava going against Chewinga and KK going against Cooper to play round them and then create those moments where you can run or switch the play. And we just didn't get through that first line of pressure enough.
Nick, you're gonna have some time to watch England on Sunday?
No. Yes, I'll watch it, but in the mindset, yeah, of course I'll watch it. But like, I can't do this very often. Like, I'm not here to. I'm not here to. I think this is possibly the second worst defeat of my managerial career. They're at 4.4 expected goals at home. This is not good. So for me, it's one that we have to learn from. This is one that we have to fix. And as a staff, I take responsibility for it, and we'll figure it out. You know, I felt like this after San Diego, and I felt like this after Boston. The aim is to not feel like this in July, August, September, October, right? So we've got work to do. And I said to the team, you've all seen our new performance center, right? It's just a building. That's all it is. It doesn't put points on the board and it doesn't put numbers on the scoreboard. So as a group, we've got work to do. Thank you.